Welcome to Licensed Poetics, a podcast where writers talk about books. I'm your host, Fang Ling.
And I'm Derek Dow.
And we are back with a book club episode.
We're finally reading again.
Exactly. We're finally returning back to the premise of the podcast, which is writers talk about books. And we have 2 episodes in 2 parts coming to you. But you already have known that having read the title of the episode. So what book are we reading today, Derek?
Today, we are reading... It's such a forgettable name. Hang on.
Don't say that. Wow, we're off to a great start.
No.
He's forgetting the name. He actually read it. I promise you guys.
Beach Read.
There you go.
It was either Beach House or Beach Read, but I don't... Yeah, it's Beach Read.
Oh my God. I love the brutal honesty and I agree with you 100%. It was so forgettable. I keep forgetting which book I'm reading as well.
You know what's crazy? Because we've been giving shit to books with those really, those fantasy books, with the names
A Court of Thorns and Roses, a blah of blah and blah.
yeah. The Azure Sky or some shit. There's always some the color
dragon
and something.
Yeah, the Grey of Lost Dragon or whatever.
The Dragon's Throne or something, whatever.
Oh, the Song of Ice and Fire, obviously.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it feels like each of those are trying to be memorable almost, but this is so banal. And can I just say, so I tried to get a hardcover, or not hardcover, but like a paperback of the thing. I went to a local bookstore, literally across the road from me, or not literally, but very close to across the road from me. It was a 2-minute, 3-minute walk. I went in and I went looking, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, we only have the hardcover of this." I was like, "What? It's so popular, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, but." She looked everywhere for it, and it turns out everyone had bought it because it was this week's book club book.
Oh, so for that bookshop.
For that bookshop.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I should have gone. I should go to it and be like, "Hey, actually, I've got a lot of thoughts about this book."
You will meet a lot of women.
Yeah, I mean.
But yes, you're right. This book, we should talk about how popular it is. This is our first venture as LP into the romance genre, I think. And
I think we talked about it briefly before, right? We just haven't read a book.
No, we haven't.
From the genre,
Yeah, I mean, we've only done a handful of book club episodes, and none of them have been close to the romance genre. And I feel like we are, in a way, newbies to how popular the romance genre actually is. This book on Goodreads, you'll find it has over 1 million ratings.
Is that a lot? I don't know what the standard
number. That is
number.
So much. Think about it. Just every person who buys books in the world, maybe 1 out of 10 will write a Goodreads review, right? I'm sure there are plenty who will read and then just maybe even engage with Goodreads but not leave a full review. So think about the percentage. I think 1 out of 10 is already generous. Beach Read is definitely in the millions.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. No.
Maybe I should talk about why I picked this book. Derek, have you ever heard of Emily Henry, the author, before
I think I'd walk past her books.
She has a number of very popular books. I think she has a book called Love Story, which is an even more bravely forgettable title than Beach Read.
That's a bravely forgettable title. That's a brilliant. That's the name. That's the name of the episode. A bravely forgettable title.
Hey, that is
an even more
name.
Bravely forgettable title. That's it. You got to write that down.
Okay. So, Love Story, Book Lovers. That's also another one of her books. But yeah, in the romance genre and also just book talk, I wouldn't say Emily Henry is the number 1 romance writer. The number 1 romance writer is probably Colleen Hoover or Ali Hazelwood. And in contrast, I guess, I've heard good things said about Emily Henry.
What an even more bravely forgettable name Emily Henry is than Colleen Hoover and Ali Hazelwood.
We're so mean. So mean.
We will not be, because I don't know how, not to foreshadow anything, but I don't plan on being that mean this episode.
Well, you're certainly giving the impression that you're going to be very mean.
Well, and prepare to be surprised.
Also, Emily, if you're listening, you've made so much money. You don't need us to think highly of you, okay?
Again, not a concern she's gonna have because
It's gonna be a rave review. Wow. So yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to read Ali Hazelwood and Colleen Hoover, but I do want to see what the hype is because it's selling in like staggering numbers. So like, I've heard of kind of good things about Emily Henry. People have used the word well written to describe Emily Henry's books. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give her a chance. And then out of her top Goodreads books, I just picked the shortest one, which is Beach Read. And I found out that Beach Read is a love story between two writers. So I was like, oh, that's kind of on brand for LP. And I pitched the idea to Derek, and he said yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was really doubtful, and I was really apprehensive about reading it, which is why I started reading it yesterday or the day before.
This is as good a time as any to say we're doing a part 1 of this book. Okay,
Yes,
so we are physically incapable of giving spoilers.
I could have finished the whole book though I actually, it would have been easy, I think.
How?
It was really because it's really digestible, and so the way that sometimes I think about it like this: when you read a book, if you ever played a video game, it's like your brain is rendering the whole game.
But
if it's really low information, the game renders really fast, right?
Oh my god. That is a brilliant metaphor. What the fuck?
Yeah. So this like I can already see, you can already see the end, right? And so it doesn't matter. It's just about how good at that point,
how good you get there,
because it's a low information story. So then the question is like, how enjoyable is the gameplay almost? And which is what we'll be talking about, I'm sure.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. I do 100% agree that it's, low information and easy to render. There's actually no better way of describing it. Of course, a lot of the great books that I love are also, they give you, vivid experiences and high immersion, but you tend to have to like linger over the sentences a bit to fully digest it. But with this book, I read it very quickly, but I'm still astonished by like how fast you read it.
When I lock in, I can lock in.
He locks in. Yeah, listen. So the reason I said that the book is also about like our real life concern is because in the book, the main character is a woman, the love interest is a guy, and the woman is a romance writer, just like the author is in real life, and the guy is a literary fiction writer. And I think in the beginning, the main character, the woman, is maybe a bit insecure about the fact that she's a romance author, or at least rightfully angry that the romance genre, her genre, isn't taken as seriously as his literary fiction genre, because I think he won all these prizes or whatever, and he's like known as the writer. And I might as well just say the premise, which is these two, they challenge each other to write in each other's genre. Mm-hmm. So their names are January and Augustus. So January is like, well, Augustus, if you think writing a rom-com is so easy, why don't you write one? And I will write your genre and prove that it's just as doable, I think. And yeah, that's the premise. And yeah, it kind of mirrors our real life concerns, right? Because I think we definitely both fall on the literary pretentious side of things. We even said reading romance is like a venture into uncomfortable zone. Whereas I feel like realistically, like for the average reader, romance is like the number one genre, right? Just based on the sheer number of things. Yeah.
So how do we want to structure this?
I do think we should go into it. But I guess maybe before that, who do we want to recommend this book to? At this point, would you recommend it to anyone? If so, who?
Yeah, just everyone. Should just read it. The rave review incoming. You should just read this book.
I don't know if that's what I would say. Come on, let's be a little bit specific.
Anyone who thinks they're too good for this book should read this book. I think that's probably my number one recommendation. Because you're not. And if you think you are someone who should read the book. This is how I feel about it.
Yes. I think those people will be impressed, won't they?
Maybe not impressed, but like you should know that you're not better than this.
Why do you say that?
This is just what everyone is. Like I think it's proof that no one is above, I think, the feelings that you get from romance. I feel like if you're a cynical person, you have to admit to yourself you're not really a cynical person and you're just a romantic person who's been disappointed.
Oh,
And this book is kind of about that.
that's beautiful.
That's just my feeling.
Wow. Okay, so no one's above the feelings of that romance incites. What are these feelings?
Well, romance. Okay, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But I just mean like it's like the people who this book is for are the people who think that they're better than this book is how I feel about it. Keep it simple.
You know what? That is a great point. I think by choosing like this setup, this literary writer and romance writer setup, maybe that's definitely one of the themes that the author wanted to address as well, right? So I guess you're right. Maybe this is in a way intended for non-romance readers or people who have this preconceived notion about romance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a target audience, but it's just the reality is that fantasy is. I mean, everyone fantasizes, I think, is kind of the takeaway that I got from the book. If you like the movie When Harry Met Sally, you'll like this book.
It even mentions that movie.
This book is almost exactly When Harry Met Sally.
That's interesting. I haven't seen When Harry Met Sally, but this book mentions a lot of other rom-coms, right?
It mentions When Harry Met Sally multiple times, even the first half alone. So I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It would have been one of the key inspirations.
And also Sleepless Night in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle, yeah.
I mean, I've seen that one.
That's another Meg Ryan one, I think, right?
Who's Meg Ryan? Is that the actor?
Yeah, that's the actress. She's in When Harry Met Sally, and Meg Ryan becomes also a point of who's also mentioned multiple times.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to imagine what the characters are like, apparently January looks like Meg Ryan.
January is not supposed to look like Meg Ryan. She looks like someone who wishes that people would tell her she looked like Meg Ryan.
No, that's what the author looks like.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. This is her world, okay? She actually looks like Meg Ryan.
No, she doesn't. Remember? Because there's a bit where she says...
No. Well, other people tell her she looks like Meg Ryan. Then Gus...
She says that other people tell her that she looks like Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
He goes, you don't.
You don't look.
And then she says, well, I wish people would have... No. He says, no one said that. And she goes... Well, yes, but I wish that they did, or they should have told me that.
Did she say that? Okay,
yeah, something like she said something to that effect.
I have missed that.
I was
what the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, maybe because I was reading it on my phone, but I'm just coming up with excuses at this point. Did you read on your Kindle, right?
You're obviously not an attentive reader, and that's pretty clear.
Oh, fuck you.
Remember when we used to bleep those out?
Yeah, we still need to. I need to.
Oh, I don't. I stopped. Do you?
Listen, with this episode, no, with last episode I didn't because there were too many. But with this one, we have to. Listen, it's a romance episode. We have to make it appealable to general audiences.
The general audience.
Exactly.
That listen to a podcast about... This is so the wrong book, but that's all right.
No. I reject that. This is the right book.
Yes.
You just said it.
No, you're right. Because we're not here just to get views and listens. We are here to do a PSA. This is a public service announcement. We're doing the world a service.
Yes. Back to who we recommend it to. I think I have a different take than you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I do agree with your take. But I think just to give a more specific recommendation, like if you say are already a veteran romance reader, if in specifically you're looking for certain things, like say if you're just dealing with a breakup, this might be good to read because you might find January's experiences relatable. B, if you're going through some kind of family trauma, like something happened to your parents that's traumatic to you and to them, you might find it relatable because that's what January is going through. And if
are you just listing plot points?
No, but don't you see? Sometimes it, like the other day I was having this conversation with my friend who is like a more romance reader. And then she said to me like, hey, you guys should do like some research and think about like why those books sell so much more than the literary fictions that you guys like. And she's like, yeah, maybe one of the key things is that it's relatable. And I'm trying to think along those lines because sometimes it really is down to specifics. Like sometimes it's so specific that you don't need a huge jump of imagination to put yourself in the character's shoes.
I'd be surprised if that was the real reason. I think the reason that people read romance is because it's a fantasy. That people read romance for the same reason that people watch porn. It's exactly the same thing. It feels like a need that something in your life is not giving you. Like either your relationship is not giving you, because, real romance is very different from like romance in books. The same way that like porn satisfies maybe like a sexual urge that you can't recreate in your like romantic life.
I know, Derek,
thing, right?
But like also each book cannot fulfill every fantasy. So I'm offering up the specific things that you like to fantasize about.
And it's the same reason why certain genres of pornography are so much more popular than others.
Yeah, so yeah, if you've just been through a breakup, I guess consider this one. It's gonna hold your hand quite gently. Look,
it's gonna hold your hand quite gently. It's really good.
Even see, I don't think you should take that like view of like it's just a fantasy. If you have fantasy, read it. Like play a game, play along, and like what specific fantasy, right? There are other romance books about other fantasies, like the school crush or whatever.
So you're getting really specific about it.
Yeah, really specific. Yeah, and then as I was saying, those very specific fantasies means that you don't have to take a huge leap of imagination for the book to fulfill your fantasy. And also, say if you have a crush on a hot neighbor, you'll like this book. And also, if you have a thing about, if you feel guilty about eating food, seriously, I noticed that it's a thing. Like in China, it's not as much of a thing. I know there's still huge pressure to be skinny or whatever, but like in China, I've never seen this level of guilt about like eating food that women seem to face here, which is a bit shocking to me. And once I realized that, and then in literature and film, I've noticed that sometimes there's this fantasy of like, in like romance books or in movies or whatever, they have these characters eat whatever they want. And then I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense when I realize that there is a guilt and shame that women feel when they eat. And therefore that they will make their characters fantasize, right?
Mm-mm.
And this book has a bit of that, so okay, now I feel like I'm just making fun of the book. But it's not. No, I have to take myself seriously. If you're looking for any of those things, consider this book.
I think
that would be my
No, okay, sorry, continue. I thought you finished.
That would be my recommendation.
I love that. Unrelated, but if you Google Emily Henry, the top people also ask is, what is Emily Henry's spiciest book? That tells you kind of all you need to know.
Yes, fuck. I love that you brought up porn because I completely forgot to mention the spicy side, which there's not that many of in the first half, but it's definitely coming.
Okay, no. Yeah, gotcha. No.
And then, it's so right. It's like, there's almost this stereotype, certainly a bit reductive, of like men watch porn, women read romance.
Yeah, because men also enjoy romance. They just like, but for them, the fantasy just looks a little different.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Um, all the all of the horny stuff in this book made me want to laugh.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I
It's okay. Now maybe let's go through a few of the key storylines, right, of the book, and then I can kind of explain why the romance, the most romancy part of the romance actually felt a bit jarring to me. Because okay, so what are the storylines in the book? A, January is dealing with her father's death.
B,
And
and then A1, I guess, would be her dealing with the resulting realization that her father was unfaithful.
So she thought she grew up in the perfect nuclear family with loving parents who loved each other and loved her. And then when she's like 26, 27, her dad died, and she realized that her dad had like a years-long affairs partner and a secret house. So it's like her
like a love
world
nest.
is crumbling. Yeah, love
yeah.
nest. Yeah,
Which she
crumbling.
has to move into.
Yeah.
Do they ever explain why she has to move in?
Because her boyfriend left her.
And
So
she doesn't have
they-
anywhere else to live?
Yeah, I think so. And because her relationship with her mom is also very fraught, because her mom knew about the affair and January doesn't forgive her for not telling, not confronting.
Isn't it kind of funny that in the last episode or the one before, we were talking about American Fiction, which also has a house, like a beach house.
Yeah.
And like sadly moving into a beach house after and it's also about a writer, and it's about falling in love with someone nearby. Like, it's kind of funny.
Okay, yeah, I'll admit this book didn't remind me of American Fiction at all. What? Oh my god, you see? Do you know what I mean? American Fiction, that film has like a realistic color grade. Whereas for this book, because of the cover, I'm imagining everything in pastel colors and in flattened shapes too. So those two images literally have no correlation.
That's funny.
Okay, so that's the first storyline.
Yep.
That's obviously gonna resolve itself by either January talks it through with her mom, and then January also confronts the dad's affair partner who also lives in the same beach town. But anyway, the second storyline is the romance line. The beach house that January moves into happens to be neighbors with this hot guy who's also a writer, as we've said before. And then the third storyline is the comparison, right, between the romance genre and literary fiction genre.
Yeah.
Anything else I've missed?
Those are the main ones. You get little like other things about characters' backstories and stuff, and how every character is linked to another one. But I don't think that's as important just yet. Those are the main storylines.
That's right. And
even the competition storyline is an offshoot of the romance storyline, right?
Yeah. So I'll say, of the three, like, what do you think, right? I think whenever there is discussion around the romance versus literary fiction, like, my interest is piqued. And also, I think the way January deals with her parents is realistic. It's believable. And then when it jumps to the very, like, whenever January looks at Gus, she's just thinking of all these horny thoughts. Like, constantly describing his arms. Like, what have you noticed?
The sad, sexy smile, or the evil, sexy, evil smile.
The crooked mouth.
I can't imagine it. So this is the thing, like, it's not like I've not been attracted to men, but I can't imagine a sexy, evil smile. What does that look like?
What does a crooked mouth look like? My point was that, like, say, it goes 1 second from her, like, feeling like her world is crumbling, like she's lost her good relationship with her mom, good family, and the next moment she's describing his arms and crooked smile, and really messy hair. I don't know why, but that felt a bit jarring to me.
It doesn't to me because that's what like sad, horny people do.
Yeah, no. I know
Right?
it's
Like-
meant to. Like, I know I'm not.
Oh, you mean like technically speaking, it's not done well, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I feel like, but then I struggle to imagine how could it have been done well, because listen, I think this book is a very technically proficient book. Like the writer knows what she's
Surprisingly.
doing. Yeah. Writer knows what she's doing in terms of balance,
Yeah.
pacing, everything, and like the way information is revealed. But then like a romance is meant to be like, she tries to not have it just be that fluffy romance line. As we've said, she adds that like real parts of the main character's trauma. But how do you avoid that jarring feeling of going from sadness to like crooked mouth?
So I think I'm going to, again, dip back into the porn example.
Yes.
So porn doesn't necessarily need to have a storyline, right? But part of what makes people be interested in desire or whatever, it requires a connection to character or something, some emotional thing. That being said, your threshold for realistic character engagement is significantly lowered when you're horny.
Yeah.
So by making explicit near pornographic levels of horniness, you really lower the threshold for the suspension of disbelief. That's how I feel.
Okay.
And so like if you are sufficiently moved by the horniness, then it is actually
Everything
the right
else.
balance, I think. But for us,
Listen, I think that was a very valid point that you raised, right? It's like, have you heard about this study that's like, if you're like when you're horny, your level for disgust lowers.
yes.
Like what you normally would define as disgusting would like the threshold would lower when
Of
you're
course.
horny.
I mean, how else does weird sex happen? Like that's the only way.
And then, like, wow, I was not expecting to draw that parallel, but it totally is a parallel.
This
So
is
you're
gonna be
saying,
a heavily porn discussion now. Sorry.
okay, you know what?
Continue.
We don't need to cut out the F word. We don't need to cut out the F bombs.
Yeah, continue.
Whatever. I'm saying that then what I thought of as jarring is actually the moment the book steps into what the reader actually wants.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now I think about it, I bet I'm gonna go to Goodreads and find a bunch of reviews that says, "Oh, the family broken line is so boring."
Maybe. I mean, we can look.
Yeah,
at
we
it.
can do that later. Hey.
Yeah, but I think that's. But it is interesting for me in that way. The reason I know this is because I consume like enough, because I don't consume romance fiction in books, but I did used to, and I still do every now and then, consume it in like manga, and like manga and anime romance wise is similar levels of like, it has the same level of like quote unquote pornographic reasoning as like romance novels. So they're actually quite similar, I think, to me.
Yeah, quite similar. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like really, a lot of it banks on your desire being strong enough to suspend the disbelief to the appropriate level.
Wow.
I think that's my feeling when I consume those like romance things.
That is so good. That is so good. I think that is actually the key to a lot of genre fiction, right?
Yeah.
It banks on you already having that inside you. This is what you're looking for.
Yeah. You are looking for this. You are looking for that, and the character is almost saying to you, "You're looking for me. You're looking for my forearms with the sleeves rolled up."
How many times? Like count the word forearms in this book.
Yeah, forearm, smile, sexy, evil smile. It kind of even makes a joke about like capitalize, because it capitalizes sexy, evil smile.
Yeah, it does. So
So it Emily Henry is like, this is what you came for. You know why you're here.
okay. Then would we want to say that, seeing that is she knows what the reader wants, the family line, the literary discussion, those are like tacked on or sneaked in?
Maybe. Like I think that as a romance writer, she has to hit several marks, right? She knows the marks she's hitting.
Yeah.
Even when she talks about the writing process of writing
because January is a
romance,
writer. Yeah.
she's like, I know the marks. I know every like, and that's a stereotype too. Like, it's not an original story, right? There's lots of stories about. I've read like anime. I've watched anime about like women who write like romance dramas for the screen, and like
then
the joke is like, I don't know how to navigate a real. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You're right. Oh yeah.
Come for the porn, stay for the story. That's the almost sort of the thing, right? The promise of
getting off at the end.
yeah.
Okay.
So how do we proceed?
No, okay. Now you just reminded me of another huge topic that I want to bring up.
Yeah.
Which is the difference between love and romance. And I
like that. That's catchy. Okay.
I also, too bad we already have a title.
Yeah.
No, listen. And also, I think that's also one of the topics that the book is interested in. So I feel very justified in bringing it up. Because the reason that January is struggling in the beginning with writing her new romance novel is because she said that what's happened in her family made her not believe in love anymore. When the story is obviously going to be about, my and Gus's love story in the end convinced me to believe in love again. So do we think writing romance means you have to believe in love? Or like, what does believing in love mean? Or like believing in happily ever after? She also capitalizes that as well. H ever after. And she seems to be arguing that to write romance, you have to believe in everlasting love and also marriage. She did say she thinks marriage is a very sacred thing.
Yeah.
So she's kind of saying a romance is love. And then because she's arguing that, I'm like thinking, what other books have I read about love, right? And then the most recent one is obviously Sputnik Sweetheart, which I read on Derek's recommendation.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the best books about love I've ever read. And
wow, that's high praise.
Yeah, like it is. It really is. I think about it all the time.
We didn't even do an episode on that.
We did a reading update, which is good. Yeah. And I just think I couldn't. These two books, Sputnik Sweetheart and Beach Read, could not be more different. I don't know. What's your take on it?
But I mean, because Sputnik Sweetheart is about love, but maybe it's not about romance. No, I think it's about romance. I think it is about romance. It's just a different. It feeds a different sort of like. Again,
fantasy?
I'm overusing the word pornographic, but it's like almost like it's a desire, right? Like it feeds a different desire, and the desire for that is the sense of loss. That's romantic as well. Like it's not romantic just to have like, because you can have happily ever after, and that's romantic, but you can also have like a happily never after, and that's also romantic. And to some people, that's more romantic and more desirable than the happily ever after.
That is so true.
And
wow,
I think anyone who knows me knows which way I lean there. Right?
Oh my god, Derek, that was a brilliant summary. What the fuck? So,
it's like you're surprised that I'm insightful.
You're right. Happily never after. That is exactly what Sputnik Sweetheart is. Now I'm just pissed that I didn't figure this out.
Yeah, I'm pretty great.
Listen, like Beach Read is the fantasy of being together, getting married, finding each other. And then you're right.
Sputnik Sweetheart is what Gus wants to read. That's almost the thing, right?
Really?
I mean, to some,
I don't know enough about Gus.
But my point, but like the stereotype of the like sad, coldly horny person, right? The sad, coldly horny person wants a story where the person has to leave or will never like them back.
Oh my god. That is so true. And you're right, Sputnik Sweetheart, even though the love that it describes moved me so much, it absolutely is a fantasy. And it romanticizes the longing and lost, right? Longing means something that you don't have, something that you've either lost or you never had. Yeah, so you're right. Spotting Sweetheart romanticizes longing, and say Beach Read romanticizes like having or like obtaining.
And I think the gimmick of the book must be that like the character has to flirt with maybe like I should romanticize loss instead. But then I'm sure it reaffirms like the having it.
Oh, you mean Beach Read?
Yeah. And because that's kind of the shtick that I can see coming, right? Like that's the whole.
Yeah. That's what she learns from Gus, right?
Yes,
Gus will learn from her that rom-com is respectable and like difficult to write, tricky to write, which I agree with 100%.
Which he's already figured out by this stage, I think. He got all of that stuff has already happened by the point that we're up to, I think.
Yeah,
and she's like, maybe like I've always been deluded because like actually my relationship with the first guy, I mean that
Jack,
barely no the guy before that I think was like almost a nothing thing, and then the one that I had with Jack, which was how long, how many years? That was years, right? It was like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And that was like, and that ended up being nothing because like in the end she was pretending to be, there's a great again, it's not like amazingly literarily like told or whatever, but she has that bit where she says, he was pretending to be endlessly interesting because they're talking about their first date, and she was pretending to be outgoing and cheerful and spontaneous, neither of which were true, but they maintained that facade for like 5 to 6 years.
She did feel about like her, and when she was in that relationship with Jack, she had to be picture perfect, right?
Yeah, and she was doing it for herself, for him, for whoever.
Yeah, and then after she went through this loss, she became more real, and then Jack couldn't stand this version of her, and that's why they broke up. Which is, what the fuck? That's such a cruel reason to leave someone. How can you have... Yeah?
I think that happens a lot more than you think. Not everyone is so blessed as you are.
Oh.
Oh
my god! Fuck! I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
People pretend, you know, like people try and be the version that they think is best, and the version that the other person they think the other person might like. And then at the end, you might realize that neither of you like those versions anyway, nor could you ever keep those versions up. And so now you're left with like, well, would it have worked better if the whole time we had been our real selves? Or
that is so true. That is so true. Story beats, you brought that up. And I think one of the things to recommend this book by is that the beats are so clear and they happen like in rapid succession. There's always something happening.
Pacing in the book is kind of brilliant.
Yeah, it's very good. That's why I say it's technically proficient, right? The author knows exactly what she's doing.
There's a 1-page chapter where she's basically masturbating. Right?
Wait, what? Is that what's happening?
Do you remember the one chapter where she says she went to bed thinking about Gus or whatever, and then the next page is like a new chapter, and it's like I woke up in a sweat, or I woke up and needed.
Having to shower. Oh, is that what that? I didn't realize.
It was either that or like she had sweats, but
I woke up having to shower. Yeah.
I imagine that's a horny line.
Oh,
it was good. I really liked that. I was like, wow,
I completely got.
I'm so pro masturbation in like in love stories. Like that's why I liked that's part of the reason I like Shape of Water so much.
Oh fuck, I need to see it.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, well anyway, before we get into the skeleton, why not have a fun interlude? Yesterday, the funniest thing happened. So, did you know about this Aussie book reviewer guy who is like really bulky and really cute? Shrek? Yeah. So what happened was this handsome Shrek. I feel like I should say his name at least. Oh my god, because like if we're gonna fulfill our dream of collaborating with him, which is totally gonna happen after we said publicly that he's like handsome Shrek. So his name is Luke Bateman. Yeah. I don't know where in Australia he's based, but recently he had a reel on Instagram go pretty viral, which is him reading a romance called Milk Farm, which is about a woman and a bull, I guess, romance, where like she milks him. And then that reel is very well done. Luke is very wholesome, and he gave a positive review. Kind of like us, he's also surprised by how much he likes that book. And then Annabelle sent LP a request and saying, hey, can you get Handsome Shrek on the podcast, please? And then on the same day, my other friend messaged me the same exact thing. Mel, shout out to Mel. I think because that reel went viral that day.
Yeah,
and then she sent to me and she's like, hey, can you please get this guy on your podcast? And I was like, girl, you're the second person of the day to request that.
We got to get him.
Yeah, we have to. Derek, we're going to have to work months towards that.
Handsome Shrek. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh,
Okay.
so back to what we were talking about before.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about the similarities with When Harry Met Sally because I'm a big When Harry Met Sally fan.
Please do.
So do you know what When Harry Met Sally is?
No, but from what you've told me, it's a rom-com.
Yeah, so it's a rom-com, Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan, right.
And it starts, and it really starts with, the gimmick of it officially is like, can women and men ever be friends?
Oh, okay. There are so many of those. I've seen so many.
And it was in like 1980 something, so it's one of the earlier ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the movie starts with them, with Harry catching who is friends with, who is dating Sally's friend, and they drive, like after uni, they both are moving to New York City. So they both drive all the way from the uni to New York, like just carpooling, and they have basically a really long conversation. And at which point he propositions Sally. Harry propositions Sally. And she's like, no, that's my friend. Like, that's terrible. Why would you ever do that? And he's like, well, because, like, men are horny and blah, blah. And that's what the thing wrong with it. Anyway, they get into this conversation where she's like, I hate you. You suck. You're a bad person. Their paths cross again a little later. And then it cuts to like her and like her partner later on, where she's like dating some guy, and then yada yada yada, they bump into each other again at like an airport later on in life, and she still doesn't like him or whatever. Now I can't remember the exact moment of events, but the story beats go that the next time they meet and they have a full conversation, he's fully changed his mind. He's now in a loving relationship, and she's in a long-term relationship with her partner, but then they're not getting married. And then it turns out that he is divorced. So like so he starts out as being a pessimist, she's an optimist, and then it flips their situations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which is basically obviously what heavily inspired the plot twist of this book, right? That first plot twist.
Yeah.
So the fun thing about the book is that it's kind of it is meta. Like it not only like references the exact beat of When Harry Met Sally, it even has the vague structure of When Harry Met Sally. Like it.
I don't know if you can call that meta.
I think it at least engages with the ideas, and it acknowledges that it exists. Like
okay, fair enough.
It's
so
enough for the reader to be like, oh, because every reader most readers who are reading this have seen When Harry Met Sally.
Have seen When Harry Met Sally.
I think
So it's like a nod, right? A self-aware nod.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it would have that plot twist would have, I think, hit me more if I
you didn't know,
or maybe it hit me better because I already knew. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
It's hard to figure out which, but
I think before we explain what the plot twist is, I think one thing though is I've been thinking about like how do you use your theme or how to use your theme to create character, right? If you're talking about whether you believe in happily ever after with capital letters, it's natural to kind of create two characters that are one believe, one doesn't, right? And then throughout the course of the story, have them flip and interchange, and then both learn something from each other. So, yeah, I think that is a not super difficult conclusion to come to, but like you're right. I think with the plot, now I want to read When Harry, not read. I want to watch When Harry Met Sally. So When Harry Met Sally, the question of whether they believe is whether they believe men and women can be
friends. It's a little different because When Harry Met Sally that's the central question of the show, of the movie, because the movie is basically a long conversation between the two of them about that. But partway through the movie, it becomes very obviously that they are already friends. The question is whether like
they'll fall in love.
Yes, and then at the end, obviously they do.
Well, Harry and Sally.
Yeah, Harry and Sally.
Okay.
And it's so like it kind of answers that question almost immediately, and then it becomes a rom-com.
Let's go through the chapters, because it's literally so easy. Every chapter is called, like the title of the chapter will tell you what it's about, and it maps the beats for you. So, chapter 1, the house. So when I was reading it, I was taking notes. I'm learning. I'm always on a journey to learn. Chapter 1 establishes a matrix of information, which is who she is, where she is, who she is. She's a romance author who's just been through a breakup, who doesn't believe in love anymore. Where she is in the house that her cheating father left her, the beach house, and who the love interest is, the hot neighbor that pops up at the end of that first chapter. You see, all of the key information to kick you started is in that first chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the result of the author going in writing with a very clear goal in mind. And then writing becomes like construction work, to connect the blocks together. 2, the funeral. This is where she introduces Sonia, her dad's secret affair partner. Chapter 3, the Pete cute.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
I'm like, I just now I was like, who the fuck is Pete? And now,
yeah.
Do you want to explain?
Oh yeah, Pete. Pete is a person who is the woman who runs the cafe. That becomes a central point in the story, or one of the locations, I guess. It's not central, but it's definitely one of the locations.
And it's called Pete Cute because it's a meet cute, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you explain to me what the fuck is a meet cute?
A meet cute is where the two characters in a romance initially meet for the first time, and it has to be cute. That's all it is. So it's like the stereotype is a guy rushing to work bumps into a woman carrying groceries.
Oh yeah. Drops the coffee.
And and she goes, "Hey, watch where you're going." And he's like, "Oh, whatever." And he's like, "Oh no," he says to her, "Watch where you're going," but he angrily picks up the orange that rolls out or whatever. And then she's like arguing and yelling.
I see.
And then
I see.
their hands touch on the orange that's rolled far away. And then they make eye contact. That's the meet cute.
Wow. See, even that, we can pick it apart, right? Like the meet cute, one layer of fantasy is that you're going to just randomly bump into a very hot guy. And the second part is that it's clear, is that when a moment that's special that is happening, it's a special moment, because in real life, you never know. In real life, there's no storyline. You don't know who your main character is. You don't know who your love interest is. When something, even a meet cute happens, you don't even know that it happened. Whereas in the realm of fantasy, when something important happens, you know. And then there's cameras on you. Time slows down. You become the main character,
Yeah, but everyone has a meet cute, right? Like you have a meet cute.
At the time, how do you know it's a meet cute or not?
Well, no. There's no such thing as a meet cute at the time, right? The whole point is that it's documented.
Afterwards.
So it's a retroactive application.
Okay.
So tell us about your meet cute. Sorry.
I don't even remember.
It was at a library, wasn't it? At university or something?
It was at uni, but it wasn't at a library.
Was it in like one of those study locations?
Yes, I think. And I know we didn't like meet cute. Like someone introduced us. Does that still count?
Were you set up?
No, it was not set up. Someone introduced us.
Oh, randomly because you were there?
Yeah. Because like we were mutual friends. What was I doing? I don't know. I was sitting there. I don't know.
Were you studying? Were you procrastinating?
I think so. I think I was studying. I think everyone was, right, at that location. It was like a room, like a tutorial room or something.
Yeah, right.
It was not a meet cute.
It would have had to be a meet cute. Yeah.
Oh wait. Does someone if someone introduces them, is that considered a meet cute?
It can be.
Okay.
A meet cute is just a situation where the characters meet, and then something flares up, but they don't know what it is, and then like something lives, and then.
Okay. So chapter 3, the Pete cute. You'll notice that it happens no later than chapter 3.
Mm-hmm. Because it has to happen right away. Otherwise, no one cares.
Otherwise, they'll drop the book. 4th chapter is the mouth. Wait, it's talking about his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Well, his very attractive lips, I guess. Oh, chapter 5 is the Labradors.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
That's when she goes into Pete's house, right, for a book club, and then she like.
The next chapter is the book club.
Oh, okay. So yeah. She's in like the. No, she gets introduced by Pete to a bunch of people, and one of whom is Sonia.
Yeah, that's in the book club.
Yeah. So it's same thing.
Okay. So the point of interest is that chapter 8 is the bet. And that is the point where she introduces the whole romance novel versus fiction writer thing. And also at this point we learn that Gus is emotionally unavailable and quote unquote only do like 3 months romances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can only do casual relationships, or at least that's what.
Yeah, it's like 3 week or 2 week or whatever.
Yeah, that's what January believes. And the one thing that actually confused me, which is Gus said, "Promise you won't fall in love with me,"
because that's a joke. Like that's a shtick from enemies to lovers, like stuff. So
it is a shtick. I know that, but how in this context does it make any sense? Why would Gus make her promise that?
Because it's not a real promise. It's a joke. He's making a joke. That's why. What do you mean? Like, because the stereotype is like two people like are fighting and bickering, and then haha, don't fall in love with me. Like that's have you never said that like as a joke, like that's a common thing. Like
then why? No, it kind of makes sense, but it seems serious because later on she's like, I promise I won't fall in love with him, right? Like, and then like she's clearly very attracted to him from the beginning. So why would she promise that? I don't understand. I thought it's because
she's not genuinely promising. It's just all banter.
I thought it's because she doesn't want a casual relationship, and she was under the impression that he was.
It's banter.
I was confused.
It's banter, and ultimately, I think the design for the plot twist is that it does give some credence to what you're saying. Because the plot twist is supposed to be like, what? Maybe he was serious then. Maybe he genuinely, like, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So their bet involves them going on dates every week, not dates. Not dates.
Which is just the mechanic for enabling romance to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So this week they'll go to her rom-com location. Next week they'll go to like a research location for his literary fiction. I think one thing that she keeps mentioning is that she's implying literary fiction involves a lot more research than romance.
I don't think she believes that. It's just this shtick because she's like, well, to communicate the idea to readers. Some of it is like very dumbed down. I think like I can't imagine the writer herself thinking these things.
Really?
But it must. There's a part of it that is like you got to.
Okay.
Because some of it is like because she says a lot. It's kind of almost demeaning to the reader. She says a lot,
Yeah.
like you have to give the people what they want. Like I know what the people want and how to give it to them. Like there's a lot of times where she says that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
right.
like, it's so funny.
And before we get to the twist, one thing I wanted to bring up is, do you remember how they were talking to a interviewee, because the literary fiction is about like cult survivors, so they're
Yeah,
interviewing those. Did you notice how January says that she's confused that why people will be drawn to sad stories or stories of pain?
Mm-hmm.
And then she said all she wants to do is to embrace the interviewee and tell her it's going to be okay, or like comfort her or whatever.
Mhm.
And this is the point where it really made me think of Barbie. I was texting you this, like, that moment in the Barbie movie where everything's picture perfect, and then Margot Robbie goes, "Do you ever think about the moment we're all gonna die?" Like, did you ever?
I disagree
Because
entirely, actually.
what the fuck? I really thought the at least January is setting up to be like someone who's like impossibly naive, and then when the first time, anytime she experiences pain, she's like, "Oh my god." like in disbelief.
But that gets unraveled really fast, because I think at that time maybe you could believe that, but later on it becomes really clear that she's just constantly deluding herself and putting on these like rose-colored glasses, like just consistently. Like that becomes the shtick, right? She's like that's when we were talking about earlier. Like she goes through her previous relationship. She's like, I've always had this thing, and ultimately I just didn't want to deal with it. Like it was too hard to deal with.
Yeah,
So-
okay. Maybe it does change later on, but like, especially in the beginning as well. It's like the genuine clinging on to the notion of like, I have perfect parents.
But
I have
that's
perfect
what
family.
you would do if you were in denial, like you were trying to process your emotions about your perfect life falling apart. And then the realization that this isn't a new discovery for you. You've always been doing this. Every time something bleeds through, because then she starts talking about all the things that she forgot about because they didn't fit into her family's post-cancer life. I don't know if you remember that.
Wait, where's that? Maybe I didn't get to that.
No, you would have. There's like a bit where she starts talking. See, you weren't locked in.
You're locked in.
There's a bit where she starts talking about. She reflects on her, like, this is the stuff that I did genuinely was like, oh, this is compelling. Like, it makes for an interesting character. She like talks about how, her parents like there were certain things that she'd always kind of shoved under the rug, and so,
What the fuck?
yeah, there were things that she that didn't fit in with, and they were very small things, but she was like, oh, there are certain things that didn't fit in with her parents, like her mum recovering after her mum recovered from cancer. She just wanted to put a lot of stuff behind her. She didn't want to deal with it anymore. So it doesn't set her up as someone who is naive necessarily. Like it sets her up as someone who who doesn't want to deal with those things. And her way
That
of dealing
I
with things is
understand.
just
Yeah.
which is what it becomes. That's what the story ends up becoming about, and that's what the character ends up becoming.
I
about.
hope that's where it goes. Because like from the first, it was her naivety was like annoying me.
But yeah, and I think that's the whole thing, is that like her realizing that's the shtick. It starts to unravel the more she starts writing his story, because
Oh yeah.
because the
Like,
reality, because she doesn't think that she can't write what he does. She thinks she absolutely can, but she chooses not to as an act of resistance, I guess, is her way of viewing it.
yeah, and then when she designs the characters for her literary fiction, she like uses them to kind of unravel some of her own trauma, right?
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
like that part. That was good.
But she, generally speaking, is like, I don't think she, and that specific one bit about the cult thing. I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with that did make me think of the Barbie thing. I actually thought it was a really nice moment, because I understand some people have that react, because I do not have a crooked smile or a sexy
What the
smile,
fuck?
but I do
Yeah.
understand the like desire to like ask questions, because I want the answers really desperately about like some really painful thing. Like my first reaction is not to like reach out and wanting to hug somebody who's been through a hard time. But I also don't think that that's a naive or bad thing to do. Like, I think that's like, very sweet, and in a lot of ways the right thing to do as well. I don't track that as being naive. Like,
Interesting.
and I don't think it was
interesting.
intended to be to make the character come off as naive either.
Yeah, well,
But you are right in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, she is setting up the character as she sets herself up as being naive in the
because she
beginning.
like brushes the paint under the rug,
but
right?
then it becomes obvious that it's not really naive.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's.
just-
I hope that's where the direction goes.
Although I'm not gonna lie, like I think she makes it really clear right away. Because isn't there a bit at the beginning of the story where she talks about her constant romanticizing of her own life is the reason she's sitting by herself in a Kia Soul, a 2006 Kia Soul, alone, having broken up with her boyfriend Jacques. Like I'm pretty sure that something to that effect is
okay.
right away.
Yes. And then the opening line is that like the thing about me, I'm a romantic, right? But I guess I'm just surprised that it didn't. Okay, let's say if she does believe that and she is self-aware that she has this flaw almost, that when she talks about having that urge to reach out and like hug and like soothe the pain away instead of digging deep and understanding it, then maybe she would have been like, okay, this is what I feel, but that maybe like the way she writes about it would show her being critical of it, like you know like certain quality that you write about yourself, right? Like if you're proud of it, you would write about it a certain way. If you're not proud of it, you would write about it a certain other way. Or if you're like ambivalent about it, you would write about it in that way. Whereas the way she wrote it made me feel that she still fully believes that is the I think it's the position.
Maybe I don't know. To me, that just seemed like a very genuine. Like I don't think that's like there's nothing like there's nothing. It doesn't make sense to me that that's the incorrect thing to do. Like
no, not incorrect. It's just I don't know. I don't know what that says about someone.
I think it means that they care. Like, and their first instinct is to protect somebody the way that they would like to be protected. I think that's what it says about somebody.
And then the way that she like contrasts it with Gus, right?
Yeah.
Gus's thing is like consume other people's pain, which I don't know. I guess I was just a little bit surprised that there are any other reaction other than that one.
Than consuming the pain?
No, then digging in and figuring out why.
That's because you're the sort of person who does that.
Exactly.
And I'm the sort of person who does that. But there's lots of people who don't do that. And I think their way of doing it is, I used to think really stupid, but now I think is equally valid.
Well, that's good for you. That's growth.
Or equally pointless. Like, everything is just some variation of, like, everything is just a song and a dance and...
okay. Equally point. I get what you're saying.
You know what
That's
I mean?
very
like,
interesting.
Just different variations. It's all the same thing. I used to be so convinced that the harder you go, the deeper you dig, the better the answer. I now know that's just not true. It's just the thing that makes you feel good because you're that sort of person.
Yeah. No, look, of course there's fallacy. Yeah, I guess I'm just very foreign to this kind of worldview. I genuinely am. Okay. So okay, I want to talk about the plot twist before we wrap up. So, they are on one of their not dates, you know, because they're enemies. They're not supposed to date, not supposed to fall in love. And they went to one of those like where you watch movies in your car thing, right?
Yep,
and then they were watching When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless Night in Seattle. And they started just making out in the car, I guess.
Yeah.
And then after they make out in the car, the next day he disappears. Oh, that was so contrived and so good. You know, it's that like
it scratches that romance itch, right?
Yeah, it's that huge up followed by a huge down. You know, and then the down allows you to have all the angst, all the self-doubt, and a solid reason to be mad at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think a really genius stroke of genius is that after Gus disappears, January finds out that Pete is actually related to Gus, and finds out some information from Pete.
Yeah, which is now we're gonna spoil.
Yeah, which is Gus has been divorced before. So not only does he not do like 3-week romances. He's actually been divorced. And then January is like, well, that's probably the why he doesn't quote unquote believe in love.
Yeah. Which becomes the whole, and this is where I'm saying it is meta, because the point at which that happens is immediately after watching When Harry Met Sally. In When Harry Met Sally, the kind of switcheroo that they pull is that Harry is like, I don't believe in love, and or I don't believe, like, I'm a negative, pessimistic guy, and Sally's like, I think things are great and excellent and amazing. And then they test the limits of that, because later on it flips, because then Sally's not happy with her relationship or where it's going.
Okay, right.
Because her partner doesn't want to marry her or for whatever reason. And then, spoilers for When Harry Met Sally, by the way. And then Harry ends up finding love, and he gets married to this woman who he thinks is amazing, and he's so in love with her. And so he backflips on his previous views, and that leaves Sally really unsettled. And then it switches up again when she meets him again, and it turns out he's been divorced because she divorced him.
Okay.
Which is hilarious, because, like, to me, that happens exactly, like, you find out that When Harry Met Sally plot twist exactly after they watch When Harry Met Sally. Like, it's so good.
One last point is that, like, I'm keen to see where this goes. And it's a good way to wrap up, because I'm like, I genuinely want to finish this book and see where it goes. And we'll save that for our next episode. Because at the point of the twist, it kind of feels like she's arguing that Gus doesn't believe in love because he's been through a divorce.
Yeah.
And then I think next episode, I'm going to talk about the difference between marriage and love. Like, if this episode is about different romance and love, next episode was going to be even spicier.
Yeah. Actually, the interesting thing that I thought about the twist and what it meant, like what it means for the character, is like, it really drives home that, like, rose-colored glasses thing. Like, she just judged him based on what she remembered about him.
Yeah.
But the answer is that, like, she didn't really know him at all. And, like, so she was working off old information, and he'd already changed and gone back to what he was thinking before. She, like, that's where it works, right? Because, like, if you think you know someone and you're engaging with them in this fun, playful way that feels like you're really getting to know them, and then a bombshell's dropped on you that, like, did you really even know this person at all? Like, you feel so stupid. That's the whole shtick.
Yeah,
so,
that part is relatable. That part is believable. I was
like, that's really good.
That's believable and good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So anyway, I guess we're both pretty excited to finish it.
I know. We had such a good discussion on this.
There's a lot to talk about. Like I said, Emily Henry is for people who think they're too good for Emily Henry.
I think Emily Henry will be very surprised by our discussion, to be honest.
I don't think so. I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. But yeah, I think the takeaway for me is that, like, is this what it feels like to be happy? This book, is it what it's like to be a happy person? To genuinely believe in, like, I don't know. And then I need to think about why this kind of argument for this kind of interpretation of love I find less moving than the happily never after.
Well, we haven't gotten to the end yet, so we don't know, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So stay tuned for next episode. We'll get into that. So now's a good time to wrap up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this discussion.
Yeah, it was good to get some reading in as well. What should we do? I guess I'm kind of like excited for what to read next, because this kind of made me like, oh, maybe reading stuff again.
Yeah. See, it's got us out of our reading slump.
Yeah.
Which is what romance are known to do. So yeah, shout out to Emily Henry, the real hero of this episode,
for making something that's digestible that doesn't make me feel literally sick, like some other
like Just Kids.
That made me feel so sick. I felt sick to my stomach reading. I loved it, but I felt awful.
Yeah. Well, for more details, listen to our episode on Just Kids. If you'd like to support LP, head to buymeacoffee.com/licensedpoetics. Thanks so much for listening. I'm your host, Fan Ling.
And I'm Derek Dow, and we'll see you next week.